Hey guys, this is AlphaTraveler1. I am prepping my channel here for the stream, so bear with me please. We are going live and hopefully we can get started soon, so we're going to give it another minute or two before we get started. So thank you all very much. So bear with me a moment. We're going to give it another minute or so before we get started, guys. Matt, how are you, sir? Mouse Junkie, thank you very much for coming. Chavez, thank you very much for the love. So we're going to give it another minute or so before we get started, guys. So thank you all very much for coming. So hopefully you could hear me, you could see me right now. Just doing quite a quick test before we get started in about a minute or so. So this is going to be really, really fun. I think there's a lot of smaller channels that actually asked for my help earlier, and I kind of guided them through this particular process, which I think a lot of people will truly love. It's a very small thing, but it's a tool within YouTube that people just neglect. Which I will show you. Which I have a feeling that when you see this, even some of the big channels that I see have the same problem. They're not utilizing this tool. So welcome everybody. Let's get started. Again, welcome to our stream. So this actually stream is all about the ability to maximize or empower our small channels, right? To really understand, to really use the proper tools within let's see, YouTube. And one of the things that the reason why some of the smaller channel asked me to do this was because we kind of started talking and we started saying, you know, they're asking me how did I do it. And just to give you a little bit of my background, I actually had this YouTube channel for over a year, maybe almost 2, but I've never really used it the way intended to. I used it only to share with my family and friends. So when larger channels, Disney Family Vacation along with the Theme Park Brews, they kind of found me somewhere in December-ish, January timeframe. They kind of started saying, hey, look, you know, you do have a lot of good content. Why aren't you starting and really taking it seriously? When that happened, I only had about 43 subs. And right now I'm at 835 within 6 months. So, you know, a lot of the small channels are saying, hey, listen, I need to, you know, we need to learn about this thing. Where do I get to learn? I said, well, for me, I actually had my own computer bulletin board when I was in junior high school, believe it or not. So I started out with a Commodore 64 with 2 drives. And even then, I started really understanding power of social media. At that time, it wasn't even called the social media. It's called the BBS, computer bulletin board. Could do all kinds of stuff there. Cool Chica Vlogs, thank you very much for coming. So one of the things I want a lot of the small channels to really understand. Hey Herman, how are you? Jerry, thank you very much for coming. So one of the things I want you as small channel owners and content providers is to forget what you know about what a YouTube is, you know, or what a Facebook is. What I want you to look at is go to any, right? Dictionary, online dictionary, or even a hard dictionary that has it. Type in social media. And one of the things that really a smaller channel or smaller YouTube or someone who wants to get started really don't understand are some of these keywords here. Any website or applications, right, that enables users to create and share content or to participate in social networking. That's a social media. Problem is that a lot of our partners don't understand websites and applications. All they understand is Facebook. How many people have a Facebook account? Think about that. You got to stop thinking about social media just being Facebook, just, being YouTube or whatever social media that you truly like to use. It is a whole lot more than that. So that's one thing. The second thing is the word social media. What most people don't understand is the word social. The word social means that you are socializing, meaning sharing amongst others. A lot of the smaller channels forget that when someone goes in and says hello to you on your channels, gives you a compliment, they don't say hello back. That is not social media. That's just media. Social means, hey, we're going to go back and forth. We're going to talk about it, get to know each other. That is the only way you're going to grow, right? And what that means is that it connects. And there's a saying that everybody is 6 levels to someone else. So they have actually done, I forget the name of the project that these people have done, but I read it in a newspaper that says for everybody, including you guys, you could, in 6 levels, 6 people, you could touch someone else. It could be someone very, very famous. They actually did this, I guess, a social media type of event where they say, they're going to get a letter and they're going to say, I'm going to reach out to someone from Europe to get that letter to the US. And within 6 touches, they got that letter to someone, believe it or not, without the post office. So that's the power of social media, social. You have to socialize. So one of the things that, as part of our community, Eve, thank you very much for coming. So one of the biggest things that I find is that a lot of our small partner channels do not understand the tools that are available on YouTube. And there are a lot of data. There's a lot of tools for you to look at, right? If you remember, one of the things that we did the last 3 videos was to protect your brand, protect your name. So for those of you who have not seen those, first, get there, do everything you need to protect your channel, okay? Protect your brand. That is very, very important. Protect yourself first, and then you could come back here and get the rest going. But that is one of the most powerful things that I need you to really understand, right? So for all of you, one of the things I want you to really understand is when you go back home, when you get off the stream, get it out of your head that social media is only a Facebook or whatever it is. It's everything else. You could use any social media, any other companies out there. There's multiple companies out there. And believe it or not, Amazon is a social media. So when you go on to Amazon and you buy some stuff and you put in your recommendation, like, hey, I bought a gimbal, I love this, you're sharing with someone. That is a social media, believe it or not. So start thinking about all the things that could help you along the way. So having a very narrow focus, saying that I only want to share, I only understand that Facebook is the social media, get it out. And think about this. Let's take it a little further. When you go and check out the news of the day online, like Yahoo News, right? Have you ever noticed there are 1,000 comments, 2,000 comments? Believe it or not, that is a social media as well, okay? So please keep that in mind. That is going to be a very powerful thing for you to do. Exactly, Matt, like an Instagram. That's also social media, right? You got Facebook, everything out there. Make sure you do not have a narrow focus when you think about social media. That is the only way you're going to be able to grow, okay? So with that said, everybody, this is homework number 1. Start thinking it's not just Facebook, because a lot of people, when you ask them what is social media, it's Facebook. Brenda, thank you very much for joining. Welcome. So with that said, I'm going to stop here and I'm going to ask everybody on the stream, do you have any questions regarding why we're saying social media is bigger than this? Hi, Angela. Thank you for joining. So for all of you who are looking at me, I'm looking a little bit to the side is because I have another laptop there so I could see what, who is asking questions, if any. So that's why I'm not looking directly into the camera. So before I get started, show you the tool that is really, really a very powerful thing to do. And I'm going to start giving you the rationalization, how to use it, okay? Before you do that, for those people who are in there, please hit the like button. And if you are not subscribed to this channel, subscribe because there's more to come. I've actually laid out about 10 to 15 different lessons I'm going to be giving down the road. And this is all about the tools that are available to you. So with that said, if there are no questions, I am going to go to the next page. Are we ready? Okay. So let's look at the home page. This is my home page. And everybody has a home page, right? So I'm going to back it out, and I'm going to show you how to get to where I got to so you could follow along step by step. This is your generic YouTube page. Okay, we're coming here. And this shows you what they're recommending to you. These are some of the channels that I'm watching a lot, or some of my friends. So you're going to see them there, right? So what is going to be important is this. If you come here, upper left-hand corner, and then you go to your Creator Studio. Once you go to your Creator Studio, and this is the way I tell people to do it this way. In subsequent lessons, you'll understand why. So this kind of gives you an idea what is, your data, comments and videos, analytics, all that good stuff. View channel. Once you get to the view channel, it'll take you to your home page. Okay? This is what I am going to ask you, those of you who are on here, to look at. Do you have a feature channel set up? Go to your channel now and go check it out. Okay? This feature channel, for the most part, the people that I either started out with or potentially, really are friends of mine and that are mods. Do you have that set up? This is one thing that all small channels always forget. And this also includes large channels. This is a fantastic opportunity to cross-pollinate your social media, your subscribers. Okay? This you will need. This is a very powerful tool. I'll tell you why. For those of you who have not set this up, what you're going to see down here is related channels, right? And related channels are the ones that you touch all the time, which in my case, I don't know why, because I'm subscribed to every one of these. I've been having a lot of YouTube issues. They were unsubscribing me to people that I am subscribed to. But what happens is this related channel here will typically be up here if you don't have this set up. What that actually means is they are recommending others to your subscribers. Okay? And these people are going to channels that you may not even know or like. Okay? The reason why it's important that you have a feature channel is so that you can cross-pollinate with your friends. Okay? What that means is that I'm going to give you guys a homework, and this is going to be very important. You might not want to listen to the way I do it, but this is how I actually did it. I'm going to explain it to you. So you're going to ask me, well, how do you change this? How do I get this, right? Let's get going then. So before we do that, remember to hit the like. You know, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. We have about 15 lessons coming up. And then also, if you think this is really important to people that you know that are small channels as well, please share it with your social media so that they could come and really learn something about this. Okay? So once you are here, you can see these two tabs, Customize Channel and Creator Studio. You don't want to go back to the Creator Studio, but you want to customize your channel. Click on Customize Your Channel. And what happens is it will allow you to kind of start taking and editing these part by part, okay? What is going to be very important is this. Once you see this, the top right-hand corner of each of these modules, and these are modules, they kind of clip in, right? You click on where it says Feature Channel, top right-hand corner, there's a pen, click on it. And then the drop-down says Edit Module or Remove Module. You want to edit module. Do not remove it. Once you click on Edit, a box in the middle will come up of all the people that are on your, well, in this case, my favorite channels or feature channels. These are friends. Right? What you will do is that you will put in, it says section title. You could change it to anything, right? So as an example, if you're fishing, you know, your channel's about fishing, you could put fishing buddies. So this is actually free form, or you could type that in. Now, in order to add, you need to have these individuals' channel link, right? The channel, I guess, address, put that in there. Once you put it in there, click on add, it'll pop up, and it will be in here. So this is how you do it. It's really nice and easy, right? But, so we actually have a rationalization, and this is kind of like a homework to you. One thing before we kind of get into this is many people use this as, hey, you know, the people that I love, you know, and they're going to put in really, really big channels who have like 100,000, a million, you know, a million subscribers, right, in here. Here's a question. Remember what we said about social media, it's a back and forth. When you put those million, you know, people in there, million, 100,000 channels in here, are they bringing anything back to you? Think about that very carefully. If you have a channel you like, have 100,000, a million subscribers, are they putting you as a favorite channel in there? If it isn't, you're doing social media wrong. Social means back and forth. It's socializing. So when you build this, ask yourself, are they helping me along? I mean, great. Many of you may want to say, you know what, I just want people that I, you know, show people these are the people I love. Fantastic, great. But however, if they're not bringing that kind of socialism or socializing back to you, that's not really a social media. Disney Dan, how's it going? Cargo, thank you very much for coming and helping out. Jerry, thank you. For those of you who are in here, if I missed you, my apologies, but welcome. So we're in the middle of this lesson. So some of the questions that I will give you, you have to think about this for your channel. Remember, this is thinking about your channel. This is not talking about, hey, you know, I'm here to have fun. If you're here to have fun, you should not even really want a channel. I mean, why, right? What's that about? So just think about that. So if you have a bunch of very large channels who are not helping you along, that really isn't helping you out as a channel, okay? you should think about that before you start inputting that information inside of your favorite channels list. So how I actually started this out here on this section is I actually broke it into 3 parts. Okay? Listen carefully, guys. This will help you out. You may want to use my method, maybe you may not. I don't know. But this is for you to think about. When I started, I actually said to myself, what do I need to do? What do I need to do and showcase, right? First thing I said was there are channels that I am really close to that I really, really love. And what I did was I said, I'm going to pick out 3 channels and I'm going to approach them and say, you know what? I love you guys. I'm always talking to you guys. We're friends. Can I put you on here, you know, as a favorite channel? And when you are friends with them, they will do the same for you. And when you do that, this is a power of social media. I'll tell you why. As an example, I have 835 or 800 something subscribers now, right? Let's just say the other 3 had 800 as well. Each, about 800. So 8 times, what, 4? That's 2,800 people, potentially subscribers that we could be reaching out to. Think about how powerful that is. That's only 4 of you. 4 channels, 800 each, 2,800. Or 24, because you have give or take, right? 2,800 people that you could actually theoretically reach out to. That's just 4. Meaning you and 3 others that you truly love. So your homework for today on here is to say, which 3 channels do you really, really like, right? That you're always talking to, that you can theoretically get them to hop on to getting your favorite channel, get on your favorite channel and you onto theirs. If they don't have it, get them on here, point them to this video so they could see the reason why you want to do it. So this is 3 parts. This is 1 is your favorite where, you know, you're going to talk to them. They're going to say, yeah, I'm all for it. You're not going to have any problem with that, right? Second one is going to be relatively easy as well. I actually said to myself, I'm going to bring smaller channels in with me. And those smaller channels are might not necessarily be in the same genre as me. And I'll explain that. So we all love Disney, right? For majority of us who are on here, we love Disney. But here's the thing. Disney encompasses so much more, right? Think about this. Theme park brews love drinking around the park, right? And then, you know, we have, you know, other channels here. If you look at this, we got folks from, you know, like Flo Richta, one of my favorite channels too, is mod as well. It's in England, right? So there's a lot of people out here. You got Rob, you know, you got everything out here. And then, you know, the music channel that I'm always touting on, there's a lot of Disney people who goes to that channel who love Disney. So on the smaller channels, so sometimes in this instance, a lot of them are big channels now, really big. But think about that. Something that ties you together. Hey, look, us out loud. I got you in here. Look at that. Just popped in. Hector, how are you? So this is the reason why I am telling you. So this is number 2. Number 2 is to get people that, you know, that's kind of aside, but also tied to your genre, you know. And then, you know, it's in Disney, if you think about it, there's a lot of channels that do merchandise only. Think about that. There's also channels that are cruise only, right? What about if you had someone in your favorite channel that is from England who has a subset of subscribers that you could reach? Think about how powerful that is, right? Not only are you in the United States, you're going to England, you're going to Japan somewhere down the road, right? Think about how much you're opening this social media up. It's like a spider web now, okay? So this is number 2. So let's recap, right? Number 1, right? Get the folks that you truly love. Get 3 of them only. Start talking to them. Hey, how do we do this? How do we do that? Let's work together, right? This is your lowest hanging fruit. People love you. You love them. Let's do it. You're going to get that like that. Snap of a finger. And the smaller ones, I would actually challenge you to branch out. Say, hey, listen, let's do this. And eventually, you guys will open the doors to each other's, subscriber base and area. In this case, you got Disney Dave. He's in England, right? You got Flo Richard is in England. So there's a lot of folks that are in different places, right? Like Disney Vacation Family. They're in Canada, right? So Steph is in Florida. Happiness Sweet Tea, they're in Texas. So Love Family, they're in Tennessee. Rob, New York. We got all these other folks out here that have different ways of tying in. And a lot of these things might not make sense but it makes sense to me. It actually helps me tie. The last and final thing for you to think about, so before I get into that, is this is your third homework. So the third homework is to look for 3 smaller channels that tie in to your genre, not necessarily in it. Because if you think about if it's in it, you could theoretically have the same people in the subscriber group. So it really dwindles down the subscribers you could touch, right? So branch out. Like Us Out Loud, they're in LA. I could tell you that a lot of their people that I've met, on his chats and, the people that he hangs out with, they're all Disneyland, right? So that is kind of cross-pollinating, going out. You want to do that, right? So that's your second challenge, right? No, wait, third, right? I will recap all the challenges, and next week we're going to come back to you, and we're going to ask you guys how you did. The final challenge I want you to do is to approach. And a lot of people are afraid of this. It's kind of like dating. You see someone, I know a lot of you are already married. For those of you who aren't or could think back of those dating days, there are men or women that you just really have to date. You find it hard to approach them. Well, this is going to be the same exact feel. You're going to pick out 3 large channels that you truly like. Could be out of your genre as well, but close to it. That you want representing in your channel. What it does is it actually gives you 2 things. It gives you really immediate credibility. Okay? So, as an example, I have, H-Top Music here. Over 3,000 subscribers. People click on it and be like, hey, this guy's got 3,000 and, they're friends. And I'm moderating for them. There's something about that, right? So there are a lot of channels out there. You now have to go up. So if you have 400 channels and you say, well, I'm going to put a level of 800, right? I'm going to go look for someone out there in my community or maybe even outside. Again, Disney community is really large, right? So for me, I do a lot of travel, and it does involve a lot of Disney stuff, right? But there are ones out there like Dreaming of Disney. They are really they do a lot of box openings, but they're Disney box openings. Think about that. It's still Disney, right? So you got to go out there and start thinking about which large channels do I want representing. And here's the thing, right? What I've talked about with a friend of mine who used to work for Google in social media group said, here's the problem. A lot of people don't understand. You can't just pick anyone. If that channel has a really bad reputation, there's no point in putting them in there because you're going to be stuck there with them. So there's a lot for you to think about. On the large channel, start looking at the large channels that really, how I started was to see who are really truly a little more friendly to me, right? And say, hey, let's start really building that trust. And it's all about trust. And if you start building that trust, they will trust you more. And your job, your homework number 4, is to start looking for 3 Okay, 3 larger channels that you want to represent or you really want to really associate yourself with. Once you have those, only then should you be putting that information in here. So you have to get all those 3 together, not just one at a time. Or you could say, you know what, level 1, which, you know, all friends of mine, I'm going to pull all my friends in there. Do that one at a time and then start building. This is a very powerful tool. If you don't have it, you know, on your channel, get it done. Okay? So make sure you get this. So 4 things you guys have to do for me. First thing, wash out your heads that a social media is just a Facebook or a YouTube. It's not. It's bigger than that. Remember, I've used an example of Amazon also being a social media because you're rating stuff and you're writing things. They are posting that on the web. Believe it or not. Go look out there. If you've actually made recommendations on companies like Amazon or wherever you pick, they're out there. So forget about that. Think about, you know, stuff more like you got Instagram, you know, you got Twitter, everything else out there. You got tons, okay, tons of stuff. Do that. It is going to be very, very, very important. Only then can you start saying, yeah, I got to branch out and start growing outside of YouTube. Getting those social media, help your YouTube channel blow up, right? That's homework number 1. Homework number 2 is to get 3 of your best buds, you know, in YouTube and say, hey, listen, let's start cross-pollinating. I want to put you on my favorite or feature channel list. Can you do that for me? Get 3 only for now, okay? That's homework number 2. Homework number 3 is to look for 3 smaller channels, but it should be outside of your genre. So if you are very specific, as an example, you're Disney only, perhaps you could go look outside maybe someone who's Disney and Universal. Or, you know what, you want to bring someone in who is just about pins. You know, as an example, that Disney pin guy, really cool guy, you know, fantastic person. You see his video, he is down to earth. Maybe someone you don't know, maybe you want to know. But I'm just saying, you want to, you know, branch out. So get 3 of those, okay? So number 4 is going to be very important. This is going to be hard, guys, because it was hard as hell for me. Excuse the language, but when I did it, I'm just thinking, like, how am I going to influence these larger channels to trust me? And I kind of realized, you know what? I have a good product. I am family friendly. I am friends to everybody. 4, I bring value. Those 4 things you have to be able to demonstrate to a larger channel to trust you. Because remember, it is their brand. And when I put someone in here, I tell them I am going to hold your brand like I'm holding my own. I value it. That's what you have to do. Once you get that, you should have 9 channels in here. And with those 9 channels, if you think about this, right? Let's just say average. You spread out 9 of these channels, right? You say you have 1,000 subscribers each. It's 9,000 subscribers that could theoretically be looking at your channel, guys. How big is that? But if you don't have this feature turned on, you have to turn it on. You understand that? So this is today's lesson. Today's lesson is your favorite channel. It is very, very, very important. So next week, I am going to come back. I'm going to give you another tidbit. But before that, when we start next week, I'm going to ask many of you, have you done it? How successful are you? Okay? So that is today's lesson, guys. This is a very, very powerful tool that I would say me looking out there, small channels, there's about only less than 10% of the channels using it. So if you're a smaller channel or even a bigger channel, if you're not using this, time to use it, guys. Start networking, right? So if you had that 9, it's 9,000, right? And then there's another group of, say, 9,000 elsewhere that's also connected to you. That's 18,000 subscribers you're connecting to you. Think about that. Think about social media as a spider web. You're going to be successful only when you are in the network, when you are socializing. So again, you have to socialize. And that means that if someone, obviously, which we said in earlier part of this video, if someone sends you a comment, don't ignore it. Socialization means two of us. Okay? So really, that's it for now. So I hope you guys find that valuable. And if you do, please hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Right? And again, I have about 15 of these built up. And one of them is going to include, actually not one, I would say about 6 of them will include people who have tools or have done it or could help you as a community. So we have a lot of guest speakers that we're going to be lining up. And you don't want to miss that. And also make sure you hit that bell. Because if you don't have that bell, you don't see this, you have to put all these together. If you don't put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 together, you will never get to 10. So I am really done. So I want to thank you all very much for coming. Before I let everybody go, I am actually watching the chat. Does anybody have any questions for me to answer? If you do, this is the time I'm going to dedicate to you to answer the questions. So everybody, thank you all very much for coming here. I want you guys to be successful, and a lot of the reason why I'm doing this is a lot of smaller channels approach me and ask me about my history and how I went from literally about January to now, went from 43 to 835. So they asked me how did they do it, because it took years, and I'm teaching you this. But if you don't listen to this full process, you're not going to be as successful. But if you follow it, I could tell you, you're going to start blowing up. You're going to start networking, right? Again, the most important thing is think about social media as a spider web, right? You get 9 of these guys here, and an average 1,000 subscribers out there each. That's 9,000, including yours, or maybe 10,000. And then you guys connect to other groups out there. That's another 10,000. That's 20,000. If you had 10 groups, that's 100,000 subscribers that could theoretically touch you. Okay? So start thinking about that. And start thinking, how can we get to where we want to be? Hey, Molly, thanks for coming. So just to give you a bit of a tickler, some of the people that I want to kind of bring in, kind of talk to us, to give you an idea how they did it and help you guys out through the process. And some of them are actually either on my screen and or in the chat. So one of them is Rob Fuzz. He has a drop that rope. I'm going to bring him in to show you how valuable that could be to you in one of them. That explains to you another aspect of different social media event. And then there's a lot of folks who ask me about, technology, right? Like how are you getting, you have 4K, you have to do this and that and all that stuff. And I kind of realized one of the people out there that's really, truly good with this is Us Out Loud Hector. He's on here with you in the chat. I'm going to ask him to come on to one of these and kind of talk to you guys about how he started looking at the technology, how he implements it, right? It might not fit your budget or how you want to do it, but one of the things is that he is one of the guys who I'm like, wow, this guy's really cool. He's just like me. We love our technology, but it shouldn't all come to me, from me. It should come from our community. And our community is bigger than this. One of them is, Us Out Loud, Hector here. He has a lot of technology out there. We're going to bring him up here. We're going to have him show it to you, talk to you about that. So this way, as a new YouTuber and small YouTuber, you have all these technologies, tools, and all these people in our community that's going to come in, and that's going to show you how it's done in the past. So again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. We got about 15 of these, and we may be expanding to more of that. By the way, Molly, I saw you, so thank you very much for coming. So so from You Travel Vlogs, there's a question that says, how long do you spend on your channel per week, more or less? So anybody who's on there, if you see that, you want to answer, please answer. From me, I spend minimum 1 to 2 hours tweaking some things in my channel and engaging those people who are engaging me on my videos. For those of you who know me, I don't just go out there, hey, thanks. I'll go out, hey, thank you very much. What do you think of this and that? And you have to put a little more thought into that, really methodical. So for me, You Travel Vlogs, I actually spend about 1 or 2 hours minimum on that. So I think that's really it. I don't see any other questions. So with that said, I think there are other lives that will be popping up very soon. Wow, Lana 1520. That's a really good time as well. So, before I hang out, one of the things that really just jostled my memory is that if you put in the time, people will see that. When you put in the time, you could see that in your videos. And I could tell you that all the people that are on here, the ones who have videos, you guys are fantastic. This is the reason why I've engaged you guys. You guys are part of the community. It's because I actually love watching videos. I actually watch only maybe an hour of TV, real TV, and even though I have cable, a week. Majority of the time, I'm actually watching your videos. Many of you who have videos out there, I won't be doing that. The only thing is that if your video is about makeup, I really can't comment. Just FYI, those of you who are out there who thinks that I don't do that, I don't know what to say. I've never used makeup in my life, so just to get that out there. So, and then one other thing, I want to give a really quick shout out, and this is just for the fun of it, guys. How many of us love Disney, right? R. Johns is close to 400 subscribers, and he doesn't have any videos at all. Take a look at one of my mods here, Brenda. She has no videos, and she is close to like 900 subscribers. Now, and let me tell you, she's one of the biggest Disney fans I know. Disneyland. But, so we're hoping, if she hits 1,000, she can maybe stream a little bit in Disneyland. Hint, hint, Brenda. So, again, it's really funny that, we hold a lot of folks who are really good folks out there and say, hey, how is it that you don't have videos, you have subscribers? Because these guys are really cool people. And I think Brenda's really cool. So, she doesn't have a video, but it's fun as hell to subscribe to her. To see that blow up, and every time that people ask her, I always get that same chuckle because she and I mod in Hit Top's music, and it's the funniest thing in the world. So I am going to sign off now and bid everybody a fantastic and beautiful, magical weekend so that you can relax and truly work on your homework. Remember, there are 4 things for you to do. get it done. Next week, I'm going to check in on you guys. This is kind of like a school classroom. So I'm going to check up on you guys. With that said, thank you again for everything, and I will see you next week.